Awesome. Thanks, Alice. Thanks, everyone, for joining me as we head towards the end of the year. I'm sure we're all looking forward to the festive season, but thank you so much. I do appreciate it. So yeah, let's just dive straight in. I think let me explain a little bit more about who Green Safaris is, and then we can go on to the camps itself. Green Safaris was started by our MD and founder, Vincent Covenhoven. He built Illa Safari Lodge in Kafui. And then shortly after building it, he realized that he needed to engage a lot more with community projects. And in order to save parks, really, and that's the same across the whole of Africa. The conflict between community and preserving wildlife areas is very real. And so he went back and started a foundation. He got a hold of big business to invest in that foundation. And then the foundation knew that they wanted to do that, but how do they do that? And so we fell into tourism because of that. So it wasn't the other way around. It's quite big. We've got big farms up at Illa. We've got community projects there where we have built dams that hold water for 8 months of the year. For all of you who probably do you know or don't know, as a lot of African people don't have access to boreholes or piped water, so they do a lot of farming along the rivers. Zambia gets a lot of rainfall for a couple of months a year. It floods, so there goes their crops, and then the rest of the year there's no rain, and then they don't have the water security. So we try to create the water security, and then we built the farms. We've taught them how to make the farming not just for one family, but for a whole community. How to regenerate soils, because maize strips the soils. What do you plant in between to try and regenerate soils? How do you commercially farm with other proteins, so chickens, pigs, rabbits, etc. Doing bamboo plantations to create alternative sources of fuel and building material because it's very fast and hardy. That also offsets carbon footprints. We've introduced these clay ovens that uses very little fuel to cook with. We've got farms down in Livingston where we do training centers down there. We've got skill centers. We've got education. Obviously, we also do support the research projects, anti-poaching units, African parks, etc., in preserving these wildlife areas. Kayamawa was bought. Obviously it's very, very big to us. It's a drop in the ocean comparatively speaking, but it's huge for Green Safaris and it's everything that we are. And you can download our audited report off our Green Safaris Foundation website. Or you can ask us and we'll point you in that direction. There's 22 and 23 reports are there. Our financial year ends at the end of February, and then we upload the next report. So it's very important. So you can see, we say what we're doing, we're actually doing. Kayamawa was the first property that they bought. The owner was heading back to Europe, and this is quite an important one because it's a part of the secondary income that stops them relying 100% on fishing, which currently is still 90%. But tourism is quite important in providing that secondary jobs for people in this area. So it's not just about conserving national parks, it's also about conserving lakes as well. Also, there's a community here that we could work with. There was a reforestation project we could get involved in here. So that made sense for us. So we bought that in 2018. Then James and Ben, who Ben owned Tongabizi and Sindabizi, were brother-in-laws, and unfortunately Ben passed away in 2019. And so Green Safaris bought that in the January 2020. And so that became part of us. Also, Sindabizi is a very, very green property. And so that also made sense for them. There was an existing school and obviously an opportunity to extend the farming areas in Livingston as well. Then in 21, we continued with our promises to the chiefdoms and we opened Shawa and Chiza. In fact, the whole crew that opened Shawa became the staff of Shawa, which is amazing. I think in the beginning it was like having 10 Emmanuels from Faulty Towers, but now they're an incredible, slick crew, which is extremely proud of their product. And then in last year, in July, we purchased Sausage Tree and Potato Bush as the sort of last piece of the puzzle. So therein endeth our expansion. The expansion is going to be more around the green element. So bringing on more electric vehicles, electric boats, especially down in Sausage Tree and Potato Bush, where it's private vehicles and private boats. So it's a big fleet change. We need more electric vehicles on the other sides. We're needing to bring a lot of that knowledge in-house, because electric vehicles, you do need to have maintenance very close by. And so we've taken that in-house in Lusaka. We've introduced our first electric dhow boat down in Tongabizi and in Sausage Tree. So the expansion is going to be there. Part of the purchasing of Sausage Tree and Potato Bush, we did a long deep dive into why Zambia is running behind the rest of Africa in terms of sales. And there were two reasons. Number one, it isn't well known. Sorry, I'm just going to close the door because my dog's barking. Sorry about that. Joys of working from home sometimes. And so we introduced, so yeah, it was not well known. Luckily, we've got a new government. It's 2.5 years old, and they have employed PR companies in Europe, UK, and US recently to start doing a big marketing drive on Zambia, which is wonderful. Also, the other problem was putting the puzzle together. Some agencies know Zambia very well and do it themselves, and they're fine, but some consultants don't know, and so they rather sell something that they do know. So we decided to introduce what we call the Wings and Wheels incentive, which is if you are 4 nights or more on our circuit, so not 4 nights in one property. I know in some countries you need to be 4 nights in one property, but it's 4 nights on the portfolio. Then we will include your meet and greets, your flights, your airport taxes, all your levies, so whatever levies that are required, your accommodation, your meals, your drinks, your laundry, and all the included activities that appear on our rate sheets under each property. So you don't have to think about putting the puzzle together at all. It makes it very easy. That is all included in the nightly rate. So all you're having to do is take the nightly rate, times it by the amount of nights, and you know that you're covered. It is a shuttle charter, seat-in charter service. We do use the scheduled airline as well, if it works. So the idea is we have all of the ProFlight charter fleet, we have the SkyTrails fleet, we have the scheduled airlines, we even have Ethiopian Airlines from Lusaka to Lilongwe, Nyasa Air, we are a minor shareholder of Nyasa Air up in here in Malawi. So all of that gives us a big arsenal to use to be able to move people. So all you know that we're committed to flying you in between. It starts and ends at your closest international airport. So Tongabizi and Sindabizi, that would be Livingston. So if you were booking that on its own, it would start in Livingston. It wouldn't start in Lusaka. So just remember that. Our safari destinations are serviced by Lusaka and then Kayamawa by Lilongwe. So if you were doing the whole circuit, you would start at Livingston and you would end at Lilongwe. We do have Airlink coming into Livingston and out of Lilongwe. You've got Ethiopian Airlines that comes into Lusaka and out of Lilongwe. You've got Kenyan Airways that comes in via Nairobi into Livingston and out of Lilongwe as well. So there are options in how you can put this together. The meet and greets include airport lounge at Lusaka with air conditioner and Wi-Fi and snacks and drinks. We do have a little office also in the Livingston airport, but we do airside meet and greet. And in Lilongwe, we do plainside meet and greet as well as Mafui. Obviously, the airstrips, the guards are meeting you there. So yeah, we're just trying to tie up the whole service and making it as seamless and easy as possible for you guys to sell it. We're on Where To, TripClip, Safari Portal. You've got access to agents portals where you've got all the videos and images if you wanted to make your own interactive activity itinerary. But we are strongly suggesting that you guys, if somebody's asking for Africa, is to give them a Zambian itinerary and say, look, and it's so quick and easy to do. Yes, let's look at this country, but also look at Zambia as well and what you can get for your money. And you'll be pleasantly surprised, I think, at the final costing. So lots of talk about which side of the falls. It's a great market employer, I think, from Zimbabwean side, but to be honest, both sides are amazing. Yes, in low water, which is probably from about August through to November, You get water only coming through over on this section of the falls. It's an annual thing. It's not just because of this year. This is Livingston Island here, which also belongs to us and is included in as an inclusive activity when you go and stay at Tongabizi and Cinderbizi. So it's wonderful. You can access that and actually see the falls from there. Crossing the border across to see the falls in the Zimbabwe is also easy as pie to do. And interestingly, 70% of our business that comes to Livingston Island and that low water does come from Zimbabwe. So at some point, they're going to be crossing the border. And there's lots of reasons why Tongabizi and Cinderbizi, which we'll talk about when we get there. But obviously in high water, you can see you're further away from the falls, so you get great photographic opportunities here versus the mist in your face on the other side. So yeah, I think as a whole, one shouldn't factor one into the other. I think they're both great. Also, you used to have to catch a boat across the river. If you were crossing from Botswana into Zambia, it's now a beautiful bridge, very, very easy to cross through into Zambia from there. Zambia and Malawi are visa-free. So that's also important. I'm going to show some video. We'll talk while the video is on. It might buffer slightly. We've tried to compress them as much as possible. So, but just stick with us. I was playing with it earlier today, and it was working perfectly. So, let's just go for it. So we are upstream, 25 minutes from the airport, 25 minutes from the falls, an hour and a half door to door if you're coming from the Victoria Falls Airport, crossing the border, and obviously we facilitate all of that through to us as well. Tongabizi is made up of a whole lot of different types of rooms, and there is on our agent's portal a room description. So I'm going to mute the music because I'm talking with the music playing, and talking to you apparently doesn't work. Alice keeps telling me, so I'm switching the music off. So Tongabizi is amazing. It's been around for a long time. It's undergone a major renovations. I don't think you ever stop renovating this lodge. Ben never did. So it's a constant upgrades that we are doing, but you'll see how amazing it's looking. We have premium houses with plunge pools, which is, as you're seeing, coming in now. Birdhouse, doghouse is one of our family units. We have honeymoon house, nut house, garden house, which is set back from the river. These are our river cottages, which are entry-level rooms. And then why Tongabizi? There's lots of reasons why. Number one, we're the only ones that do valets. They look after you from morning to night. They're the ones that plan your days. There's so many amazing activities that are included. We also make dining an activity as well. So we're the only ones that do that through our floating breakfasts or dinners, through our electric dive boats that you can go and have lunches on, to picnics on islands, to sandbars. All of that is included, and all the meals are private, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We have a gym, we have a heated lap pool as well, which is set behind the river cottages. We have another pool down in the main area. You never eat your meals in the same place twice. You can have all 3 meals private in your room if you want on your deck, or we move you around into certain areas. We have the Tonga choir, which is made up, that's the floating dinner, by the way, this one here. We do these beautiful sandbars as well. We do all sorts of things, which is very unique to us. Obviously, we offer what everybody else offers us in terms of fishing and sundowner cruises, but we just try to take it up a level and have that privacy of the meals, as well as the valets that look after you, and Livingston Island's included, and the airside meet and greets, and we do our own transfers from the airports and things like that. Obviously, if you're coming from Zim across the border, or from Botswana, then we do use a third-party supplier. Then you've got Cinderbizi. Cinderbizi Island is our little downstream island. It's got 5 rooms on it. It's really an amazing little island destination. It's got its own dedicated staff. It's used to only open when guests were coming, but now it's open permanently. It's got its own chef and managers, also undergone renovations. It's got its own swimming pool. We've brought a launch site closer to the island, so you can come off the island at night. But it has the same inclusions and exclusions as Tongabizi. It's just a lower price point. But there also is something luxurious about having a buyout of this island. Because you've got 5 rooms, 8 to 10 people, you can take a whole buyout of the island. And I think there's something luxurious around that, actually having your own island in the middle of the Zambezi River. I'm not going to play you the rest because it's the same inclusions and exclusions that you would get at Tongabizi. So this is just some images of our activities that we do. This is Livingston Island. We did last year, November, bring on our new launch site. So you can see how amazing it is. These are all our recycled glass chandeliers from our skills center on Kayamawa. And you leave from here, and then you Livingston Island, where we've got 3 pools now: Rock Pools, Angel's Pool, and Devil's Pool. So we try to give somebody something all year round, except for when the actual island closes, which is May, June, depending on the water levels that are coming down on the river. Then now I'm just moving around Zambia. Nothing's more than an hour and a half, or even half an hour. So that's like half an hour. This is like half an hour. So it's this is an hour, this is an hour. So it's very easy to move around. Sausage Tree and Potato Bush down in Lower Zam. There's a mountain range at the back here that actually traps the game between the water and the mountain. So you do get incredible game viewing here. But the option here is also having the water and being able to do all the water activities as well. We've got 2 camps, Sausage Tree and Potato Bush, inside the park, which highlighted to me again when I was there recently. We've got 7 suites. One is a family suite. It's all about private vehicles, private boats, private skippers, private guides, private dining in camp. We also make dining and activity through our water lunches, through our picnics on islands, bush dinners, also sandbars, which is our sundowner bars we set up. You have valets. We've introduced the air conditioner here. We've done a lot of work on this camp since we took over. We redid the whole of back of house because it looked like a bomb had gone off. So we rebuilt all the staff rooms. Some of them didn't even have windows and doors on, so the hyenas and baboons were getting into their stuff. So we rebuilt it. We built their lounge dining area as well. High-speed Wi-Fi at all of our destinations, so they're able to speak to their families while they're away. We only employ Zambians. From everybody that is in camps are Zambians, so it's very important. We want them to make a career out of this, not just be, guides or waiters or barmen. We want them to be managers. We want them to be chefs. So that's very important for us as a company. There's a lot of upliftment that happens through and opportunities for guests or for our staff as well. We replaced all the crockery and the cutlery and the towels and the glassware. We brought in a new chef. We built a gym. We did a lot of the softs. We softened it up a bit. It was a bit masculine. Brought in the recycled glass chandeliers. Redid all the deckings. So it's looking absolutely magnificent. As I said, I've just come back from 4 days here. While I was there, the fact that we were in the park made a big difference. One night we had a sundowners, and then driving back to the lodge, we bumped into a leopard that literally was rubbing himself against us. He was that close. The next night we were coming back from bush dinners, and we heard that they'd seen a female with a young cub. So we went to have a look at that. But we spent a lot of time fishing. It's the best tiger fishing in the world. We do that canoeing, sundowner cruises, sunsets. There's a lot that happens. So there's not 7 vehicles going out every morning, because guests can pick and choose what they want. Some of them decide to just relax in the morning and then only go out for the lunch dinners or island lunches. Water dinner lunches or island lunches. So there's a lot that happens around this camp. So it's not just about being in a little boat where you're only seeing birds and that. You're seeing game all around you all the time. Elephants, buffalo. I even saw hippos with umbilical cords on there. It was that tiny. Big crocodiles all the time. So yeah, this is an incredible area. That's just some images. Potato Bush was also redone. Unfortunately, when the video was done, our container with our softs hadn't arrived yet. So we redid all the screeding, we redid all the roofing of the rooms. This is the bush camp style. It does have plunge pools. It's an amazing little camp. And again, if you're doing a buyout of Sindebezi, you can do a buyout of Potato Bush, because it's only got the 4 tents. One is a family tent as well. But the same inclusions and exclusions that you would get at Sausage Tree, you're going to get here. However, a lot more communal dining at our small bush camp. But if your client wants private, you just have to share that with us, and we'll make sure that they do. So I've seen guests having, we've built a new bar down at the river and a sunken boma. And I've seen guests having private tables set up there as well. So we can do private dining. It's just, you just need to make sure you ask us. And then we head up into Kafui. Sorry, things jumping around. Kafui is the size of Wales, to give you an idea. The Busanga is the size of Masai Mara. For those of you from a price point, maybe can't do sausage tree or potato bush, but do still want river activities, combining Illa and Chisa is an option as well. It's a huge park. It's just a quick video of Illa. So we have electric vehicles here. We have electric vehicles at Chisa, and we have electric vehicles at Shawa. We also have electric boats at Illa. So we still have to electrify all the boats up at Tongabizi and Sausage Tree, and also the vehicles as well. But as a disclaimer, we will always have diesel backups, simply because, as I said earlier, they can be temperamental. If electric vehicles goes down, it can take 3 days to bring up, versus the diesel that can take 3 hours to bring up. So then I'm moving up to Chizabizanga. That's just a picture of the electric boat down at Kaimama. So we also do fishing here, but it's more bream and vundu. We don't have tiger fishing in this river. Then up to Busanga. So this video was shot in 21. We've got some new video coming in the next 4 weeks of both Chisa and Shawa, as they were shot recently. We were just waiting for the editing. So this was shot as we first opened. It's a 99% carbon neutral camp. I don't say 100 because we have the diesel backup vehicles. Even the walls are built out of sandbags, and they've got a little window in the guest loo that actually shows that. It's organic paints, it's natural fibers. It's only got 4 nests, one with a lift for mobility issues, around 100% of solar. I just came back from here in November. November last year, I was there, and I saw, with agents for one night, we saw 4 leopards. And one had a cub. We saw 2 prides of lions, the one trying to catch a hippo. And then, sorry, Andrew. Sorry, I've got someone at the door. Trying to catch a hippo, and then we saw cheetah, and then we saw, so we didn't see wild dog that time. And then I was here for 3 nights now in July, and I saw in 3 days 36 lions, because we saw 2 prides that had cubs and males and mating, and then we saw 3 cheetahs trying to make a kill, and then we saw wild dogs off the airstrip. It was mind-blowing. But you also then see herds of roan and sable, and there's a watering hole in front of the lodge, and they were coming down every day, wildebeest, zebra, to drink. I saw a civet there. I saw for the first time ever titatunga. They're very shy antelope. Blue duiker. Andrew, come and get my card, please. Okay, so that's that. Okay, so that's some pictures of the electric vehicles. This is the inside of the nest. Sorry, I've got somebody at the door. My son needs to pay for something. This is an electric breezes, the ones that I said we've introduced also at Sausage Tree, and now we've also got them here at Chisa, and we have them at Shawa. They're actually very, very effective. They've got like 3 settings. But this is the inside of it. But in basic, it's got a shower, basin, toilet, everything that you need. In winter, they do actually roll the whole thing down because it can get quite cold on the plains, like it does in the Kenyan plains. But then they roll it up by when the time you come back from drive, it's all rolled up, and it's got the zip up. And by lunchtime, I was using the air conditioner. So yeah, it's quite an amazing little place. They send little tea and coffee up to you on a police station, which is quite perky. But yeah, only 8 people in camp, 4 tour vehicles. It makes it a little bit more exclusive. You've got this tributary that runs through, and far as I can see, you see the Kafui, Lechwe, the Impala, the Puku. So you do get to see the lions literally are killing every day here. So you are getting to see a lot of that up here. Just some more images. And then we go up to South Luangwa. We are north. We are 45 minutes north on the outside road. If we had to go through the gate and head north, it would take us an hour and a half. But we go north for safari. For those of you who know, it can get very congested around the game viewing area. But we have our own road that is carved out to the Insefi sector. So we traverse the Insefi sector, and we have our own access directly into South Luangwa. The vehicle goes over on a pontoon, and that part of the river doesn't dry up, so it always is going across. And I guess going a little boat, it's like a 2-minute boat ride across. And the reason for that is we just don't want to get involved in the mess at the gate. It can get a lot of vehicles here. So, and we don't really believe in that. So we go north. I'm going to just show you this video. So South Luangwa, for those of you who don't know, is the river itself is congested with hippo and crocodile. So you can't do water activities in that river. It is the Valley of the Leopards for many reasons. You can see it's very lush, lots of big sausage trees. So that gives the leopards some security in breeding. Lots of general game, so they don't need to go far for game for their food. So that tends to make leopards' territory small. Leopards don't breed unless they have a territory. So the fact that there's a lot of areas for them to have territory makes them quite successful. Also the fact that there are a big population of baboons here, and so they obviously tell you where predators are. So we find predators quite easily here as well. Wild dog, lions. The idea here is a 270-degree view as you come up into your room. Since this video has been taken, we have introduced the air breezes, as I said, but we've also introduced that pullback canopy mosquito net as well. We are introducing, it's currently four tents, and one is a family tent, but we are introducing, coming into the new year, another unit, which will be more of a rectangle, bigger unit for those who want a bigger room. And once we see the reaction to that, we will probably roll it out to the rest of the tents as well. But with that will come an extra vehicle because we don't want to put more than 4 to 6 on a vehicle as well. Obviously home to the walking safaris. And if guests want, as you can see in this video, if they want private dining, we can do it on the decks of their rooms. But it is more communal dining. And you can also do a buyout of this, like you can also do of Chizza as well because of its size. So you can actually do a buyout through the whole circuit. Yeah, home to the walking. So also the Thornycroft giraffe, endemic to this area as well. And then that's the family room. And then you leave here after breakfast, and by lunchtime, you're on what I call a beautiful Zambian add-on beach destination, even though it is in Malawi. It's very easy and simple to get to. It's 18 square kilometers. I'm going to show you a video as well. Because they were brother-in-laws, the original owners, you'll see there's a lot of similarities between the rooms. Some premier rooms with plunge pools, some standard units that are right on the lake with the direct access into the lake, which I call your big plunge pool. It's warm water all year round, 26 to 30 degrees, no hippos, no crocodiles, no bilharzia. We test twice a year for every single bacteria we can find. I'm sorry the video is just a little bit out of focus on this presentation, but you can see the more in focused one on the agent's portal. This is Zui. He's been up to the Netherlands. Vincent took him. He worked in a Michelin star restaurant there. He came back. His food is out of this world. He's just produced his first cookbook as well, and which you can buy, and it goes towards the community. The Ndomo house, which is a 4-bedroomed house as well. So you can have a buyout here on a 4-bedroomed unit. We do all sorts of activities because it's flat, it's tubing, it's water skiing. My son did bubble school for kids, full paddy diving school. Actually, David Attenborough does something on Lake Malawi on all these planet Earths around these cichlids in the lakes. We include, it's a very much a community involvement, so we always include the community in some part of what we do here. But everybody here on the island is employed at Kaimau. We don't employ off the island. We've got the third biggest cathedral in Africa, so if your clients happen to be there on a Sunday, they can listen to 2,000 locals singing and dancing. And our projects are very evident on this island, which is fantastic. Okay, so there's just some more images. I've been here 3 times. I came once with my son. He's been to Mozambique with me, to Azura. He's been to Mauritius, and it's the only place he's ever cried when we've left. We took a dhow boat. We went around the island. We did fishing, snorkeling, had our private lunch on a beach. And we got back and the chef took him into the kitchen and helped him gut and clean the fish and cook it. And then we ate it for dinner that night. And since then, my son has never, ever taken a fish out of the sea unless he's going to eat it, or a river. It's always catch and release. He's never forgotten that. And I just think that was wonderful. I've got pictures of him actually in that bath. Yeah, so amazing place, very dear to my heart. I think it's amazing. We get massive reviews. I actually spoke to an agent recently at a trade show, and she had put clients here for 7 nights, and the client sent her a message and said, how are we ever going to top this? You've sent me to the most beautiful piece of paradise. You do engage with the communities because there is communities around you all the time, which is fantastic. And obviously traveling with us, you're traveling with a purpose already. You can get engaged as much as you want or not at all. But this is the fact that you're traveling with us is there. You can go and plant your own tree to offset your own carbon footprint. You can visit our skill centers and go and buy. I've got lots of the stuff in my house. And I showed you some of those recycled glass chandeliers that comes from this island. And they use this rudimentary thing to just using the sand from the lake in the water, and they spin it and blast the glass. And then they produce these incredible chandeliers. This is termite mud chandeliers that they roll and harden, and then they paint and make these chandeliers from that. This is teething beads. They use the pods from plants and they spray them and create pod chandeliers, which you can see a little bit of that one here. This is recycled copper from a geyser. So yeah, you can go and chat. But some of the stuff we do bring in for them, but it is all natural fibers, so linens and obviously the shells, etc. This is a snapshot of our audited report. As I said, you can download the full report off our website. And that's it. I don't know if there are any questions.
Thank you, Roz. That was wonderful. We have got a couple of questions. If anybody has any more questions, do please pop them in the Q&A and we will answer them now. Of course, if anything comes to you after the webinar, you're more than welcome to get in touch with any of us. But yeah, please type your questions into the Q&A. We've got a question from Beck here. She said, hi Roz, why is there only 4 rooms at Chisa? Does this present availability issues during the peak season?
No, yeah, obviously, I mean, it's still a very new area. So we did run at about 70% occupancy this year, which was great for us. But there's many ways we can work it, especially if you're combining areas that we can make it fit in, which is great. So it's not a standalone lodge where you can only book that. So we can work it around availability. So for example, if you were doing Sausage Tree and Chisa and say Tongabizi, which is becoming very fast and nice popular itinerary, we can swap the 2 around to make it fit. The reason there's only 4, that was our agreement. It's a very sensitive ecosystem, and we are very aware of not creating a big footprint. It's part of what we stand for. And also vehicle density. We don't want to have that vehicle density in the area. If there are ever going to be any new lodges built, they're going to be in the GMA areas. They won't be on that Busanga Plains. And also we'd want 4 to a vehicle. So it just, meaning more vehicles on board, etc. So that's why we just stuck with the 4, and it will always be just the 4.
Amazing. We've got a question from Lucy who says, if a client is coming from Lusaka to Lacoma, are you able to accommodate them on your flight schedule?
So if you are using any of our products, other products, foreign products, and then you're going to add on the Kayamawa, then yes, and it's over the 4 nights or more, then we will fly you from Lusaka to Lilongwe, and that will be on Ethiopian Airlines, and then on Nyasa from Lilongwe to Lacoma. You can't fly direct because you have to clear immigration in Lilongwe, but it's very easy. It's plain sight. Our Nyasa guy meets you, takes your passport, whips you through immigration, and then off you go again. But obviously we can also fly you to Mafui to connect with Nyasa if the Ethiopian flight doesn't work.
Amazing. I have got a question. Please could you remind us of where you have meet and greets and where you have airside meet and greets?
Yes, so the meet and greets are at all locations. Lusaka, we use Tours of Africa. They do all of our meet and greets, and they've got a lounge at that airport. So depending, we also have the Pro Charter Lounge in the domestic terminal, but we have Dave's lounge in the international terminal. So depending on how long the clients have to wait, we will decide, obviously Dave decides which one to take them to. So that's at Lusaka. That is not airside meet and greet. That's just as you come through immigration. Livingston, we do airside meet and greet, and we do have an office with a little lounge there. It's not in the departure hall, it's in the arrivals hall, but a lot of guests, it's so quick and easy to get in to check in that they come back and sit there and use the Wi-Fi and chat to our clients and have a cup of coffee and whatever. And then in Mafui, we do plain side meet and greet, and in Lilongwe, we do plain side meet and greets. We don't have a lounge at Lilongwe because the clients don't wait that long. They're sort of in and out on our flights.
Fabulous. Bex asked, what is the wildlife viewing like around Ila versus the Pasanga area of the Kafui? If clients only have 3 nights for Kafui, would you recommend Ila or Chisa for them?
Definitely Chisa.
I was like, I know what Roz is saying.
It's no brainer. Look, I mean, you know, Kafui is vast, and it's not to say the game isn't good down at Ila. It is, and we get fantastic reports of amazing sightings down there. I mean, I was there in January, which was off season, and I saw wild dog and lions and heard leopards calling every day, and I wasn't even on safari; we were on conference. But there are not a lot of lodges, so there's not a lot of radio contact, so you only see what you bump into. Whereas the Pasanga, it's almost like a circle, if you can imagine, and the lions are in the middle, and around that tributary that runs through and where all the game is, and then on the outside you've got the cheetah and the leopard and the wild dog, and it's absolutely incredible. I mean, how they spot them, because you're driving and they're looking with their binoculars, and then they go, oh, lion, and you're going like, where? It looks like a cuckoo. No, that's not a cuckoo, that's a lion. And you get there, there's like 10 lions lying there, but you from a distance, they look like cuckoo. How the rangers know their difference, I do not know. But yeah, I would definitely go Chisa. And actually, because the combination of a river and Chisa is amazing, actually, because you also get to see other game that you would never see anywhere else.
Yeah. Pascal has asked, how do we access the portal, please? I will put a link in our follow-up, and it's to kind of contact Roz for access to the portal. And
you just send me an email, and then my assistant will give you a link and a password, and then you get it, and you just change your password to whatever password you want, and then you've got access. Easy peasy.
Pascal has also asked, can you do land transfers for those not too keen on small planes?
The only place you can do land transfers is Lusaka to Ila. It's about a 4 to 4.5 hour transfer. We don't, it's too far. It's way too far. We have had clients go Lusaka down to Lower Zam, but it's a good 6-hour journey, and it's not an easy journey. So not so much.
Maria has asked which lodges are closed during our winter. So I'm assuming that is sort of now through until kind of March.
Yeah. So all of them close mid-November. The only lodge that stays open all year round is Tongabizi and Sindabisi, which is why it can be a standalone property. And a lot of agents use it as an add-on out of Botswana or South Africa for the Vic Falls option. But the safari lodges, they all close in mid-November when the rains come. We don't believe in staying open and trying to pretend we can give you a great safari experience, because it's just not going to be that. It's very sticky mud and it's just not, it's unpleasant. And then we open, Sausage Tree opens in April, and the others will open in May. Ella actually opens early. That opens, 1st of April. The Ella opens 1st of April as the Sausage Tree in Potato Bush. But Chiza and Shawa opens on the 1st of May. Kayamawa opens on the 1st of April, because they also have rainy monsoon season on that lake as well, like Mozambique does.
Fabulous. And that is also, I should say, also all contained in our rates sheet. There is detail of closure dates and all of that on there as well. And then we have a question. What is the luggage allowance on flights included in the Wings and Wheels incentive?
Yeah, interesting question. I get this a lot. It is 15 kilograms. I know that's crazy, but we offer laundry included in all of our lodges. So it's very simple to be able to travel with 15 kgs. If you were coming in and out of Lusaka, you can store luggage in Lusaka, but I don't see the point of that. So yeah, I mean, that does exclude your hand luggage, but your main luggage needs to be 15 kilos. If you have clients that are traveling with more luggage and we know about it, then we obviously will price accordingly for that. It's not like you're paying for extra luggage, but you have to pay for extra seats on the to have a 4-seater for yourself, basically, because we've got 4-seater barons up to 10-seater caravans that we use. So if you're giving us the heads up, we can then just give you the extra cost for that. It's not always possible.
Amazing. I think that looks like all of our questions. So thank you everyone for being so engaged, and thank you, Ros, for a fabulous presentation.
That's only a pleasure. Sorry about all the I was doing this at home because it's 4 o'clock and my son was here. But thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
It's the days of Zoom, and we've got some lovely comments, people saying thank you. It's a great presentation.
Absolute pleasure, guys. Happy selling.
Amazing. Thanks so much. Have a good evening, everyone.
Bye.